Welcome to Dania Accounting. My name is Ida. In this video, we will walk you through the process of starting a sole proprietorship in Denmark. First and foremost, you must choose a unique company name. You can use the government website, Virk, to search for existing company names already in use. Ensuring that your company name is unique is very important. Otherwise, your application to register the sole proprietorship will be rejected, and you will need to start all over again. Also, and this is by far the most relevant issue to consider, you could end in a legal dispute if someone else is already using the company name. So always Google the company name and also check the Virk in link I provided before. If you cannot find anything online, you should be safe to continue using the name. Secondly, you will need a company address to start your sole proprietorship. Many clients use their private address since they often start from home without an outside office. In general, the use of a private address for the company is approved by the business authority. You also must designate a date for starting your business activities. Giving a little thought to the starting date can save you money. For example, if you choose a starting date for your business on the 31st of December, you will have to submit a VAT declaration for the fourth quarter, and you will have to submit a tax declaration for the year also, even though you only had 1 day of business in the first year. So in this example, using the 1st of January would be a better starting date. Be aware that if you submit your application to register your sole proprietorship with a future date, you will have to wait to apply for a bank account until the starting date. Additionally, you must find your activity code for your sole proprietorship. This is a code describing the type of activities your sole proprietorship is conducting. You can find the activity code using this link. When you have collected the required information, you need to submit the application to register the sole proprietorship on Virk. To log in, you will need your personal Danish NEM ID. If you have just moved to Denmark, you probably don't have a NEM ID yet, and you must obtain it before registering your company on Virk. After you submit your application to register your sole proprietorship on Virk, it may take a few days to obtain your business registration number, which in Denmark is called your CVR number. This number also serves as the company's VAT number. The CVR number is a unique 8-digit sequence that identifies your company. When we trade with other EU countries, we add a DK in front of the VAT number. You do not need a separate registration to trade with other EU countries. But if you expect to trade outside of the EU, then remember to also apply for an import and export registration. Furthermore, there are some products that need a special registration even when traded inside the EU. So it can be a good idea to check with an accountant before registering the company. When you have received the CVR number, you are able to apply for opening your company bank account. This will most likely be a difficult process, and you may face rejection from many banks at first, so be prepared for some difficulties here. For a better shot at success, do your homework before you go to the bank by preparing a business plan, a profit and loss budget, a cash flow budget, a balance budget, a budget for your private expenses. This will provide the bank with a more clear understanding of your company. The large banks in Denmark will always ask you to apply for a company bank account online. You can find direct links for applying on our website to the 3 largest banks: Nordea, Danske Bank and Nykredit. But what if you cannot get a company bank account in Denmark for your sole proprietorship? We hear this more often than we hear about a new company getting a bank account, so you are not alone with this problem. Normally, it is a lot easier to get a bank account, When you have had the business for 3 to 6 months and you have the first financial report to show, then it is easier for the bank to understand what transactions they can expect. Their reluctance in the beginning mainly relates to anti-money laundering concerns. So once you can show what transactions your company has, the banks tend to be more interested in opening the new company bank account. So how can you start your sole proprietorship without a company bank account? Well, using your private bank account is a really bad idea. We have seen clients getting their private bank accounts shut down when using them for a company. Usually, you get only one warning from the bank, and they will eventually shut down the bank account. Instead, we recommend using Revolut for the first 3 to 6 months. Revolut tends to be much more flexible in the beginning. Keep in mind, however, that Revolut is not a Danish bank. It is an online bank that offers banking services internationally, so it is not a perfect solution. For example, your clients will need to make an IBAN or SWIFT transfer of money to your Revolut bank account. But it will get you started. And if you have B2B clients, it will not be an issue. You also will get a MasterCard that can be used to pay for company costs. If you need a payment solution for a website integrated with Revolut, or maybe a credit card terminal for a shop, that is possible also. You will also need something called a nemkonto. A nemkonto is just a normal company bank account that is used when the government makes refunds of VAT. For example, without a nemkonto, you will not be able to receive VAT refunds from the government. Especially in the beginning, this can be relevant, of course, when your costs are high. Normally, your bank, if you have a Danish bank account, will register your company bank account automatically as your nemkonto. But just to be sure, you can ask your bank if they did this. You can also use Revolut as a nemkonto, but you need to submit a special form. This form you can find on our website. Communication with the government in Denmark occurs through a website called e-boks. The government requires mandatory registration with this website, and you need your personal NEM ID to log in and create an account. E-boks is just an inbox for all the emails you will receive from the government. If tax office wants to email you, for instance, it's going to be sent to e-boks instead of your normal inbox. When you have the company CDR, you also automatically will have access to the tax office website for companies called Skatterhverv. This is the government website used to declare VAT, employee taxes, etc. There is a separate website where you need to declare your personal income tax called Skatteborger. If you're a client of Dania Accounting, we handle your VAT and tax also. And we will provide you with a guide on how to give us access to these websites. When you start your sole proprietorship, you are also going to start accumulating invoices, which you must keep in order. Many small companies start off simple by registering everything in an Excel spreadsheet. But you should be aware that Excel is not a compliant accounting solution. You need to use real accounting software. Dania Accounting recommends Economic for sole proprietorships, as it has a great functionality for accountants such as reporting and controlling facilities. It is also by far the most widely used accounting system by accountants in Denmark, both for small and large companies. There are other systems like Billy and Dinero, but these are less favored by us due to their functionality. Economic, at least for now, is by far the best system. Economic charges 129 Danish krona per month for their startup license. This license is sufficient for a smaller sole proprietorship. Also, we recommend getting the scanning module that costs 59 Danish krona per month. With the scanning module, you can scan all your receipts and invoices to Economic using your mobile phone and mail. On our website, you can see a guide on how to do this also. Please be aware that the subscription fees given here are the 2021 rates. What tasks should you do yourself in relation to accounting? When we work with sole proprietors, we normally split the task in order to minimize the cost of accounting in the beginning. This differs from large companies where we more or less do everything. But if you want a smaller accounting bill, here are some things you can do yourself. First, you can prepare the sales invoices. If you prepare the sales invoices every time you provide a service or sell a product, this saves time for you and us. You won't have to explain to us what you did, the product you sold, who you sold it to, etc. In all the accounting system, sales invoices are generated by PDF, which can be then sent directly to the client. The process is quite simple, and you will also find a guide for this on our website. The second thing you can do yourself is to pay your own invoices. For example, your suppliers, phone bills, insurance, etc. And the third you can do is to scan your invoices to Economic ongoing. We do not recommend that you try to do the accounting yourself, since it almost always ends with a lot of corrections needed at the end of the year, unless you are an experienced accountant, of course. What can you deduct as costs in the sole proprietorship? To put it simply, every cost you have that relates to the company can be deducted. Ensure that all invoices are issued to the company name, not to your personal name. For all EU purchases, remember to provide your VAT number to the supplier so the invoice is issued without VAT. This is called reverse charge. You can convert your sole proprietorship in Denmark to a limited liability company later. There are different types of limited liability companies in Denmark, but most clients will opt in for an APS. This is the smallest type of limited liability company in Denmark that requires 40,000 Danish krona in share capital. You can find more information about the APS on our website also. If you have any questions about starting your sole proprietorship, please reach out to us and schedule a call or an online meeting. You can schedule your online meeting from the front page of our website, daniaaccounting.com, or you can call us on +45 7027 2713. My name is Ida. We are Dania Accounting. Thank you for watching.